Hello and welcome to Cory's Corner. On this very special episode, we have our wonderful friend Christian Delorme joining us from Christian Delorme's VynalRevyval. Make sure you subscribe to him. The link to his channel is both in the description and pinned in the live chat for those who are going to be joining us in the chat. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. It's a beautiful sunny day in Canada, and I'm not working. Life is great.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. So, obviously you've been watching my shows for a minute now, so you know that pretty much talk about anything.
Yes.
But the purpose of today's show is kind of like a get to know you, pick your brain kind of thing. I'm gonna start out with a really hard hitting question. So just brace yourself. What, sir, is your favorite dinosaur?
Lycosaurus.
The Lycosaurus. All right. And where is that one primarily found?
At the Y.
At the Y. All right. All right. That's
Sorry.
the source.
I've been told I can be a dick on your show if it's you
can.
Me. Okay.
Yeah, you can be a total dick on my show as long as it's not like crazy leftist style dickheadedness.
Oh no.
We're all good. And I know that's not a problem with you because you, as you said before the show, you are a center right individual. Which is fantastic because that means you won't get emotionally crazy and you won't make me call you ma'am. So that's a huge bonus. That's a huge bonus, you know, because honestly, if Christian identified as a woman, I would reopen the circus for the freak show. I'd be like, this is the bearded woman right here. Dude.
That's right. Yes. Look at him. It talks French too.
Even better. The French talking bearded lady.
Yeah, I know. Hey, we could take the show on the road and make a killing.
Yeah.
Well, not so much anymore. Once upon a time when the world was sane and normal, but not anymore.
I know, right? They got rid of the freak show because the freak show just happened to take over society.
Pretty much.
And I was like, oh boy.
Yes.
It's going to be great. Anyway, so Christian, tell us a little bit about your channel for those who haven't seen you yet. You're currently sitting at about 60 subscribers?
No, I'm up to 46, I believe.
That's my dyslexia kicking in.
That's good.
Numeric dyslexia. Never remember the numbers.
Basically, what I just started back in October, and I do albums, and I also do, but it's mostly streams. And on my vinyl, I'm also a collector of vinyl. But right now, I'm just doing streams with my friends, and we talk about a certain band or a certain pivotal album or something like that. When I get a little more comfortable and more tech savvy, I'll start doing shorts and doing standalone videos and so forth, and showcasing my vinyl collection, which is about 500 LPs, 250 45s for those of you old enough to know what those are. And
I'm technically not quite old enough to remember what they are, but my dad had quite a few, so I am kind of old enough.
There we go. There we go. So that's basically my channel for the time being. I do it every second week to a month, depending on time allowance, because I got a full-time job and a family and some hobbies. So I do it, and also I do it when everybody can get together. I love big groups, and well, you saw it on last Wednesday, Cory.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun and enjoyable. So that's basically my channel for now and what I'm looking forward to in the future.
Hell yeah. Hail to Sean Landrigan. Nice to see you, buddy. We are doing well today. We're just having a nice, calm little chat. Yeah. So what made you decide to jump onto YouTube?
Actually, my love of music and the people I was following. One of my biggest supporters, believe it or not, is Mr. Pope Metallicus the First.
Badass.
Yeah, he's a good man, great guy, and single, ladies. He's single. So, yeah, don't forget that, ladies. But seriously, I was watching, I've been following Nick in his infancy. I was following, Pope got me onto streaming, because we're both on Gilded, on Nick's Gilded, and my handle is Credence Gold 13. And he says, "Are you a Credence fan?" I said, "The biggest." And we've done streaming. I said, "I could probably do this. I like this. I could talk about music and all that." And I find it's a great medium to just shoot the shit. It's something you can do without having to meet anybody, you know? So
Hell yeah.
me into VynalRevyval, and the most guilty for pushing me and convincing me I can is Pope Metallicus.
He seems like a really awesome guy, and I look forward to having a nice little one-on-one with him at some point. Hail
Yeah.
to Lester San Jose, the Skeptic Tank.
Hey,
Wonderful to
Lester.
see you, sir. Make sure you go subscribe to Lester San Jose, the Skeptic Tank. He's really good at what he does, too.
I am.
And, of course, Landrigan says CCR is great. They are.
Oh,
They're
yes.
fantastic. I will never complain about CCR. No matter how many times I hear Fortunate Son, it still kicks.
And Proud Mary still puts a smile on my face.
Yes. And a billion other memorable moments with Credence, honestly. It's just so good. But my brain. Here we go with streamer brain. Can't remember shit. Are you over on Rumble at all?
I am, but I still haven't figured out the ins and outs of Rumble.
Okay. If you need any advice or anything, let me know. StreamYard did just introduce the basic integration for Rumble, so you don't have to keep entering the stream keys anymore.
Okay.
So that's really nice. We are currently on Rumble, so hello to all of you Rumble people out there too. So since your channel is still by all rights in its infancy,
yes.
How do you feel about YouTube currently as a new creator?
Well, I call it, back when I was going to school, those yellow books, Shakespeare for Dummies and stuff like that. So YouTube is kind of like streaming for dummies. It's really easy. I like it. Accessible. Mind you, I do have my critiques of it, the censorship and the over saturation, the over sanitization of the content, you know, and the uneven justification. Like I've seen a mutual friend of ours, 70s rock fan. Mm-hmm. He'll be playing a clip, boom, he gets signal and the show drops. They pull the show off for about 30 seconds and all that. I see another creator of a different creed and race, and he's got a bigger channel. He can play a whole album and nobody says anything. No strikes or anything. So that's kind of my critiques about the whole platform itself.
That's fair. And how has this been for you, like getting into streaming? Because like you're a truck driver. Are you a musician?
I play drums. I play harmonica, okay. And yeah.
Dude, a good harmonica can make or break a song. That's fantastic.
Absolutely.
I love me some good harmonica. I'm big on blues, and I'm big on, yeah, dude, so good. Don't ask me to name any bands, because usually the song comes on and my brain melts and then I don't remember. So it's just good.
That's all of us, Cory. It's not just you, it's all of us.
Yeah. So outside of obviously what we classify as classic rock, what other kind of music listening do you do?
I'm a big jazz lover, big bands, quintets, quartets, trios. One of my favorite pianists is Oscar Peterson, another great Canadian from Montreal here. I like anything big band from the 20s, the 30s, and jazz altogether, except that smooth jazz.
Except the smooth jazz.
Yeah, that's borderline too much like elevator music.
It is. In my opinion, there's no border. It's elevator music. Because I too love big band music and I love all that stuff. I resonate towards more New Orleans jazz and New Orleans soul style music when it comes to that stuff. I was classically trained as a trumpet player.
Nice.
I haven't touched it in almost 2 decades now. That
Oh,
means
wow.
I'm rusty as fuck. And I've completely lost my ability to read music. But as a drummer, I don't think you have to worry about that too much. Nah,
Well, sheet
that's a
music for
joke.
drummers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a joke, by the way. Go check out
Yeah, I
Christian's
know.
Rush streams that I was on. You'll get all of the inside jokes there. But of course, make sure you're subscribed to Christian Delorme. Once again, link is there. Hit it, subscribe, get him up to as many
100?
subscribers as you can.
Yeah,
If you, shoot for 100, guys. Let's see if we can
yeah,
get him
that'd
to
be fun.
100. Share this out on all the social media platforms that I am not on, and make sure people know Christian Delorme is doing some good stuff.
Thank you.
So, do you find yourself concerned with YouTube's behavior as a content creator?
Not myself, because I only stick to music, but yes and no, because I could do so much more with my channel. Like, as you've seen, basically it's us commenting albums on a slideshow. It would be so much better if I could play live intros, pieces of music, solos, videos. So I am a little concerned about that. But Republic Sentinel that you met on Wednesday, his main goal is to bring me over to Rumble at 100%.
Well,
So,
honestly, for someone like you who would like to immerse their viewers into the material as well, I feel like Rumble would be a really good choice.
absolutely.
They aren't as anal retentive as YouTube when it comes to certain things, and they actually make it very hard for a creator to get hit with a copyright problem. You actually, the companies actually have to go through the full legal process to hit you with a copyright claim through Rumble, which means they actually have to initiate proceedings against you in order for you to hear anything on the Rumble side. This, of course, can happen, but it's probably pretty rare, especially with smaller channels. But I do hope that your streaming endeavors take off and that you can actually get a great following, because I know that you're covering content that a lot of people can connect with. I did notice that your last the Rush stream that we did,
that was part 2.
Yep, part 2 currently has 94 views on it, and
I
Rush
know.
part 1 has 85 views on it, which, by the way, there's no bitterness when I say this. You outperform every single one of my live streams.
Okay.
Okay. Every single one of your live streams hits way more people than mine does. And that's because you're a niche content creator. You cover music and you cover great stuff.
Okay.
One of the warnings I can give you about YouTube and content creation is make sure you stick to a single thing. I've been doing this for 4 years plus now, and I'm at 600 and some odd subscribers, which is great, which is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but I'd grow a lot more if I would stick to dedicated content. So definitely stick with your music content. That will take you a long way.
Thank you. My
prediction for Christian Delorme's channel is that by the end of this year, he'll be at least 200 subscribers.
Really?
At least. My predictions are often wrong on the low end. So just saying. Like, for instance, when I said that my brain, Floral from Under a Rock was going to pass me a couple of years ago, he laughed at me, and now he's fully monetized.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm like, I don't lie when it comes to the fact that y'all are going to do better than me. There's no bitterness there because I choose mediocrity. I bask in it. It is my glorious place. But I love being able to connect with people that I know are going to pass me in subs because they have dedication and they have wonderful personalities. Because it allows me to get to know you guys before you're big enough to forget that I exist. That's a joke, by the way. Gosh.
I like to connect with you, Cory, because of you. You're just a wonderful guy. You're one of those that instantly you get these people in this world, either you like them or you don't. There's no in between. It's not like they grow on you, and you are an instant likable guy. What can I tell you? At least for me.
I try. Yeah. I hear that a lot. Honestly, they're all like, "You're a great guy. You're a great guy to talk to, and you're very personable, and et cetera, et cetera." And I'm like, and I do not consider myself a people person. As a matter of fact, like I am literally like a misanthrope. Like humanity as a whole, I fucking hate you. I love individuals, but I don't like humanity.
No, you're right. And some days I love everybody equally. Other days is fuck off, leave me alone, just leave me alone. And that goes for everybody. There's just some days where I don't know if it's burnt out, overstimuli, where music is noise and people bother you just the way they look at you. You just want to go sit down and be left alone with your thoughts and your pains. And there's some days that's how I feel. But other days, not 8 times out of 10, I love everybody equally. But those 2 times, watch out, leave me alone.
Right. Yeah, I feel that. I have those days for sure. So, do you have any goals for your YouTube channel? Short term, long term?
Short term. Well, first of all, the way I approach my YouTube channel is just a hobby. It'd be like me doing modeling. I got models, plastic models that I do. To me, it's just a hobby and it's fun, and it's an excuse to get with people that I like and that talk about stuff that I love, music. So to me, that's how I approach it. My goal would be with Rumble and YouTube and StreamYard and OBS to get a little more tech savvy. And again, Cory, I'll have to shoot the shit with you for a while so you can explain to me the ins and outs. But my goal would be keep doing streams, but start expanding with doing standalone videos, shorts, commentaries, and so forth. So those are my goals for now.
Hell yeah. Those are some pretty good goals. Honestly, they're simple, they're achievable. It's nice. Yep. I know a lot of people get into this for like monetization and weird shit like that, and you can usually tell who those people are because they're like content copy pasters.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you're doing streamer stuff, and that sounds weird, but if you talk to anyone in the Dix division, I'm a streamer doing streamer things, and they are political and pop culture commentators.
Right.
Like there is a divide between what exactly we do. And I like the fact that you're an interest-based channel, more so than a raving lunatic channel, for lack of a better term. You don't seem very clout chasey, which is really nice. Massgrave says you're a streamer. When I have time, hi Massgrave. When I have time, I guess.
But to get back to what you were saying, I'm not a clout chaser. I'm 52 years old. I've lived enough. I got nothing.
It's never too late to start.
No, but I'm comfortable in my skin. I got everything I need. This is just an extension of something fun to do.
Hell yeah.
That's just me though. Don't get me wrong. I get the people that clout chase. I get the people that want to get monetized and all that. To me, I figured that the safe way of doing this would be just keep it fun and keep it as a hobby. And whatever comes, and whatever doesn't come, it's no big deal because we're just here for fun and as a hobby.
And I absolutely love that mindset. It is great.
Thank you.
So, how do you feel about the modern music industry?
It's disappointing to say the least. It's become a soulless, talentless corporate business. Like most of my bands play music because they enjoyed music and they were just out there, like Rush, CCR, Aerosmith, for God's sakes. There were a bunch of guys out of Boston, and they were high all the time. They were playing music to play music. They were, even the Rolling Stones at a certain point. But now everything's so meticulously crafted. There's no soul. There's nothing good. And my genre that I like, my style of music, there's not much into it. You know, there's it's
Right.
basically rap and pop, and that's basically like the rock, the hard rock. Like there's no more ACDCs. There's still a few bands here and there, but not as abundant as it used to be.
Right.
So disappointing would be the word that I would use for today's music.
That's fair. That's fair. I would actually build on top of that and go as far as saying that we need another rock and roll revolution.
Mhm.
We need to remember uh, the sounds and the feelings that music used to give us in order to engage with it. Because nowadays, the number one thing I hear when I'm making music is that I need to dumb it down.
Ah,
And I feel that's a huge problem with today's music industry is everyone wants everything dumbed down to the point that like you literally have mumble rappers that you can't understand a single fucking thing that they say, but they make millions of dollars because the soft-brained youth of today
mhm.
is they're literally mindless consumers.
Yeah,
Um, when we were on your streams previously, you mentioned that you enjoy introducing the younger generations to the classic rock and the good musics that actually exist.
yes,
Um, you have kids, right?
yep.
Yep.
23 and 16.
Do they share your musical tastes?
My son does, and my daughter too. But she's in that angst, that teenage angst, 16 years old. I didn't know that, but she loves Motley Crue. I grew up with Motley Crue.
Wow,
She loves
nice.
Tommy Lee. She's into Slipknot.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, my little girl.
That's so like older Slipknot stuff or like post neck vein Corey Taylor stuff.
Before she told me about it, I didn't know who Slipknot was.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Okay. Okay.
But she likes metal and stuff like that. And but she does share. She's a drummer too. She's in drum class, so we do share commonalities. Like I love Jimi Hendrix and I love
Ooh.
Mitch Mitchell, the drummer. He's a wonderful jazz drummer, and I will play her music. I'll play Jimi Hendrix music on our way to school. That's one thing I do with my daughter. I every morning, regardless of what time I go to bed, I get up and I drive my daughter to school. That's my me time with my little girl for as long as I can. So I do that now. And on the way there, we'll be listening to music, and I'll say "Fire," for example, by Jimi Hendrix, and she'll listen to it. And the next thing you know, a couple days later, I'll find her listening to "Fire," Jimi Hendrix. So yes, and my son picked up on it, no problem. He's got his own style. He likes his music, but you can tell I've been very influential musically with him.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's very important as a parent to foster your children's interests and especially on the creative side.
Yes.
Um, I think it's fantastic that both your children are getting, are into music and they enjoy these things. My son he's just like me when it comes to music. He listens to pretty much anything. And sometimes I'll even say that he listens to trash,
Okay.
but it's because he gets hooked on a beat
Okay.
and I'm a lyricist, so I pay attention to the lyrics.
Yeah.
So the other day he was all like, dude, check out this song. It's great. And I'm sitting there listening to it and he's like, we're kind of grooving to it and I'm listening to the words and it ends. And I'm like, that's a good song, but I don't know why they write so many songs about suicide these days. He's like, what? I'm like, you didn't listen to the
Yeah.
words of this
Exactly.
song? Like he's
Exactly.
literally talking about wanting to die. And he's like, oh, and I'm like,
Oh.
yeah, just pay attention just a little bit. And there's a lot of suicide music these days. Me and
And
my friend Jason are both really sick of it. So,
there's actual death cult going on right now.
yeah,
You
there
know,
is.
suicide is big. Look in Canada. Look at
Yeah,
our healthcare system.
they
You know,
legalized it,
legalize
mainlined
it,
it. Here
and
you go.
stuff that would have got you certified in the hospital 20 years ago. Now it's okay. You can off yourself. Oh, you're depressed. You got suicide. Here, let us do it for you.
Oh, you have a splinter. Have you considered suicide?
That's right. Or better yet, your boyfriend left you. All right, let's kill you off here.
Yeah, because I heard that that many of the health organizations around the world are now classifying being single as a mental disorder.
Really?
Which, yeah. And I'm like, how is that even possible? We have an entire generation that doesn't want anything to do with dating or having kids or anything like that because of the previous generation's
Exactly.
fuckery, for
Yeah.
lack of a better term. And now they're all like, oh, well, you're single, so you're mentally deficient. And it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
no. In my opinion, these children are smart. They're like, no. Like, yes, birth rates are going to decline and it's going to be terrible for the world population. And that is actually a bad thing. But if they're smart enough to realize that they probably shouldn't bring kids into this fucked up world, then I applaud them for their mature choices as long as they're wrapping it. And, just saying.
And look at divorce courts too.
Oh my gosh. In America, 60% of first time marriages have ended in divorce.
Yeah.
By current standards, and 70 to 80% of second time marriages.
And not only that, the pro women thing. I don't know how many guys I know, 50, 55, 60% of your pay is going to your wife and your kids. And it's usually within the first 10 years. Somebody a lot smarter than me said marriage now is a contract with the state. Okay. Because everything is related to courts, your money, children. And so I can't really quite explain what he meant. Sometimes as you say, my brain parks, but good on these kids. But again, look at, and this is a theory I have. I look at my son. He's 23. He is in his prime there, start a family and all that. But there's not marriage material women out there. You know what I mean? Like there's not a lot for him. Like good, decent girls. Like when you and I, Cory, were younger, we would date, bring home to mom. There doesn't seem to be a lot of that. Maybe it's just me. I'm out of touch. I'm an old guy, but I can understand why the kids could say, no, this is not worth it. Because if I get in, I lose half my shit, half my pay, half my savings. I lose my kid. And happy wife, happy life, miserable husband. Maybe that's why so many are so happy or so single.
Right. Yeah. And it's kind of weird because I talked to my son about dating and stuff because he's 15.
Yeah.
And I'm all like, so are there any girls you're interested in? He's like, I actually just kind of want to wait.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I want to wait until I can, have a job, get a car, and be able to take them out and be able to like manage my own stuff before I get involved with anyone on that level. And it struck me as an incredibly mature mindset for someone his age.
I was just going to say that.
And it made me realize that maybe that's happening more often than people want to admit. Is maybe our children are actually picking up on some of the important things, like maybe I should be stable in my life before jumping in and involving myself with someone else. Hail to John Edgar. Great to see you, sir.
But
And,
I have a theory.
Mhm.
Okay, it's not scientific. It's something I've noticed. You can have a great man, okay, a self-made man or a religious man, philanthropist and all that.
Right.
And within 2 generations, his legacy has been wiped out. It's usually a trashy person. The grandchild is trashy, welfare, on and on and on. But listening to what you're saying, there's also the other side of the coin where kids are actually a lot smarter than we give them credit for, and they pick up on our good things and good on these kids. Is it the iPhone? Is it the tablet when they were younger? I don't know, but they seem to. You get these kids are very intelligent, very mature. Like Hey, I was dying to get a girlfriend when I was 15. Anyone will do. All right, let's go to a school dance. Let's see what I can pick up. But just funny how things have changed and how mature that was.
Indeed, indeed. And, it actually kind of gives me a little bit of hope for the future because I know my son is probably not a unique case when it comes to his mindset. Um, that's, I'll just take a minute to rag on that. Uh, there's too many people that think they're unique these days. And, they need to recognize that being a person does not make you special. Um, you know, in my personal and humble opinion, what makes a person truly special is their ability to cope with life
Mhm.
in a meaningful way. Because I've seen a lot of people these days fall back on addictions, whether it be internet addiction or jumping into Xanax, like some of the youth that I've seen these days. Just but it brings me a little bit of hope to see both my son and other children, through news stories and stuff like that, actually doing good in this world.
Mhm.
Um, it sounds like you've got a pretty good handle on parenting.
Thank you.
Uh, what would you say is the biggest challenge of being a parent in modern day?
Okay. To get your children to trust you, it's a fine line that we are walking as parents because you have to act as the educator, the nurturer, and also the discipliner. And you cannot be too mean. You cannot be too severe with your punishment, but yet you cannot be too lenient when bad actions happen. And I find one thing I figured out when I was much younger as a parent, I got this off this old man who told me that. He said, I always raise my children with fear and respect. I'm like, okay, there's something there. But the thing most parents I find forget is your job is not to be your son's friend. It's not to be the, hey, look at me, I'm a dad. It's not the, oh, look what my son's doing, projection by, by
Yeah.
your only job as a human being, as a parent, is to make a good adult out of this little thing that was either given to you by God or nature, whatever you want to believe. But your only job is to make a good adult, a good human being with this. And finding the exact, and it's tricky. You got to go with certain dosage. Like you can be joking and lenient and fart jokes and dads and stuff like that, but then at the same time you got to be a disciplinarian, but to teach, not to crush. And you also have to be make sure that it was very flattering. I'll tell you a little story. It was very fun when my son was younger, like 8, 9, 10 years old. I would say, don't feel bad. It's a life lesson. Look at it as a life lesson.
Mm-hmm.
You came to work with me on the truck. I gave you $5. You lost it. It's a life lesson. You know how flattered I was when he was telling his sister that's 7 years younger, Haley, this is a life lesson. I was so flattered. I was on top of the world. But I
Hell
guess
yeah.
I guess my parental skills did stick. And there's no perfect parent. There's no so I know I've been far and wide. I hope I answered your question, Cory.
No, you did. Finding that balance is actually very hard. I've noticed that there's a lot of Disneyland dads and that there's a lot of buddy buddy dads. And me and Nick Weiser actually share your opinion on that. You can't be your kids' friends. You can be friendly with them
Yeah.
and you can actually like have a good time with your friends, but you can't or with your kids, but you can't make them your actual friend.
No.
My son and I have a very friendly relationship. He might actually think we're friends, but I've made sure to clearly delineate the fact that I am his dad. I
Right.
am not his buddy.
No.
And he's currently going through some of those life lessons, like homework, for instance. we have a very firm rule that if your homework isn't done, you don't get to go to youth group.
Oh, okay.
In the past, this hasn't been a problem because he hasn't had many real assignments, if you will. Now that he's in early college, he's starting into like actual essay writing and stuff.
Oh,
And for the first time ever, he lost youth group because he had to write a 5-page essay and he had a page and a half of it done. And at one point, he came out and he was like, I have a deal for you. And normally these deals are like, I'll do youth group and then I'll come home and I'll finish my paper. It'll be fine.
right.
But like, that's where the dad had to come on. And like, it shocked him a little bit because the moment he was like, I have a deal, I cut him off and went, there are no deals.
No.
I was like, there are no deals. There are no bargains. There are no, if then. So this is, you do your homework. You're not going to youth group tonight, period. You're not.
Right.
You just accept that. And he was like, but it's the one thing I've been looking forward to all week. And I told him, I was like, welcome to adulthood.
Yeah.
Because we miss out on shit that we enjoy because of responsibility all the time. It it'd be great if this was the 90s and stuff and I could have a life supporting 40-hour a week job, but it's not really possible. So we always have to give up and sacrifice things in order to maintain life. And kids hate that lesson. Absolutely hate it. And it's also important as a parent, in my personal opinion, that you teach your children delayed gratification. Where because
there's a new one.
So there's a lot of instant gratification people out there where they want what they want now, period.
Wow, okay.
And I've noticed that kids are the worst when it comes to instant gratification and delayed gratification.
Yeah.
And teaching them that is a combination of herding cats while pulling teeth. Because kids, among all other things, are resistant to responsibility.
Right.
And I feel that this has become a problem for broader society now.
Yes.
We see this through I want to make $20 an hour to text on my phone all day and ignore customers and such.
Yeah.
And there's no work ethic. This is the generational thing that every generation says about the younger generations, but this time it's actually fucking true.
Yeah.
There's zero work ethic for teenagers and young 20s.
True. Okay, I'll tell you my 2 cents of work ethics. You got to be shown a work ethics. Kids don't get a work ethics. They don't pull it out of their ass. If your parents never taught you how to work, never showed you to be a responsible young adult, or even making your bed, picking up your clothes and stuff like that, regardless. But the problem, I wouldn't blame the kids or the early 20s. I would blame the parents.
Well, and that's one of the things that I was actually going to say is the fact that, I like to say this, and it's just me, but shit parents make shit kids.
Oh, big time.
And if, a lot of parents have their digital babysitters, tablets, video games, phones, and such. Like, there's like 3-year-olds with their own phones these days. And I'm like, wow, that must be nice. That's a $1,500 phone that you're just letting him slobber all over. And okay, that's great. Did you give your kids everything they always wanted?
Nope. I for 2 reasons. 1, because I don't believe in that. And 2, because I didn't always have the means. And sometimes it bothered me as a dad. I'm old school, Cory. Even though I'm a Gen Xer, I'm old school. A dad defends and provides, and a dad that can't provide is not much of a dad. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
So, it was nobody else's fault. That's why I was always bad with money. Money burns a hole in my pocket. Okay, like savings, never had any. And I make money, I burn it as I go. Impulsive, compulsive spending money. But that got me into trouble. And sometimes I needed to take a second job and a third job, and I wouldn't see my kids. But I never resented because whose fault was it? It was mine. I'm the one with the money problem. I'm the one who brought these children, and I'm the one who I convinced my wife to marry me. So yeah, it sucks sometimes. It did a lot of the time, but it's a me, myself, and I problem that I had to do. So instant gratification, I would, when my boy was younger, when he was 3 or 4, I was on the highway. And when I come back from a trip, I'd bring him a toy. And I would bring him a toy. And then one time I didn't bring him a toy. He came running to the daddy, daddy, daddy. No toy. He turned around and he walked away. I'm like, oh, what did I do there? Ah, okay. Well, I want you to be happy to see that. So I stopped with the toy. So I did kind of do instant gratification back then. But yeah.
Well, I'm assuming he was your first, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Usually with the first ones, we get to make some mistakes that we learn from fairly quickly.
Yeah.
But that's all right. I think everybody goes through the instant gratification with their kids thing because they just want them to be happy and stuff, which we totally get.
Exactly.
But you definitely can't cave to your kids all the time.
No. And actually, I get upset when I see a child disrespect his mother or father or grandfather.
Oh, yeah.
And I keep thinking of back in the 70s when I was growing up. That would have been the wooden spoon right on your ass or on your knuckles, kid.
Yeah.
I would never 100%. Talk to my mom that way. The only thing is, my mom used to wash my mouth with fucking soap. Then I realized I fucking love soap.
Yeah. It's funny how our disciplines don't work forever.
No.
Like, I'm going to discipline you with this. It doesn't work anymore. Figure out something new. But so, if you had to pick a single motivator for your life, what would you say it is?
Family. As simple as that. And I'm from that school, Cory, where a man's worth is not measured in possessions or wealth. It's measured in family and children and grandchildren and successful marriage. To me, originally I wanted to have 4 children because to me, I love family. I love children. I don't mind driving a piece of shit second hand-me-down car. That's fine because the car, it's not an extension of my penis. I don't need that.
Right.
It's point A to point B. Okay. But seriously, I'd rather have more kids around the house than more money in my bank account. And family and friends is also my biggest motivator as a parent. So anyway.
Hell yeah, that's a great answer. That is a fantastic answer. And for all of you watching at home, you'll notice he didn't hesitate when he answered that, which means it's authentic and honest.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
Like I mean it.
I know, right? It's crazy.
How do you know I didn't get a 91% in dramatic arts in grade 11?
Well, I don't, but
okay. I'm just kidding.
Given that my specialty is bullshit detection,
that's right.
I'm not super worried about it.
No, good. No. That's truly the joke is my wife there? Okay. Well, it's kind of a joke. Yeah. Actually, I wanted 4 children. Okay. But my first boy was 8 pounds, 12 ounces. And then my girl was 9 pounds, 10 ounces. And then my wife says, don't touch me no more. So it's right. Babies were getting bigger and bigger. So, and she had her boy and her girl. So
that's how 4 comes out 12 pounds.
12 pounds. Yeah. C-section, please.
Like, guess what sport that kid's playing?
Oh, yeah. Hockey.
Yeah. That's it. So, you big into hockey up there?
I am, but I'm okay. Two things. I work odd shifts. Like it's almost like the third shift. Well, what do you call that? The noon to 10 or what is that? That's the second shift.
That's second, yeah.
Yeah. So I work the second shift. So a lot of the times I get home, the hockey game's done, and it doesn't help that my team sucks fucking ass at hockey. The Ottawa Senators. So it's not like sitting down and watching them lose is something I want to do on my free time,
Right.
But I played hockey. I got my.
That's surprising with the fact that you have a lot of teeth still.
denture.
Still, you still have more teeth than most hockey players I've met.
I only made it to 16 years old and I stopped. Like the guys who lose all their teeth are the professional ones. The ones playing without a visor, playing, they're skating 20, 30 miles an hour and then boom into the boards. Or a high stick.
So. Ooh, the high sticks. Yeah, those will definitely give you some dental bills.
Can I question my interviewer?
Of course.
Am I allowed? How tall are you, Cory?
I am 6 feet tall.
That's it?
Yeah, 6 feet even.
Because I saw the pictures of you and Nick at Las Vegas meetup. You look like you're 6'4". Because I met Nick in Chicago. We had a meetup. We went there for a sec. I don't remember Nick being that short. What is he like? 5'8"?
So Comics Division and Culture Casino, as much as they like to debate this, are the exact same height at 5'9". I think Nick is somewhere between 5'10", 5'9", and 5'10", somewhere in there. I'm 6 feet tall, and I can make them look short until either Wes Moody were to show up, who's I think 6'3".
Okay.
Or more importantly and more impactfully, Drunk 3PO, who's a motherfucking giant.
Yes.
So it's nice feeling tall around the Dix Division guys.
Yeah.
I won't lie. It's rare for me because as a person who's 6 feet tall, I often consider myself average.
Average. Yeah,
because
exactly.
most of the people around me are 6 feet plus. It breaks my brain that Comics Division, Culture Casino, and Nick Weiser are all actually average height, and they still can't agree on the fact that they're all basically the same midget height,
right?
And so and especially Culture Casino, he's like, I'm taller than you, Comics. It's like, dude, no, you're all making cookies in the tree, okay?
When you start measuring half inches, you're short.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So are you going to try to make it to any other meetups maybe this year, or?
This year it's pretty full because I'm technically meeting up with Joe's Atmosphere. Do you know Joe?
I do know Joe.
Okay,
he's a good guy.
He actually drew. Okay, me and my wife split up about 4 years ago. Then we got back together. We renewed our vows, and we went on a second honeymoon to Chicago, and that's where we met Nick as the family. And then on the way back, Joe's he's an artist, sketching and stuff like that. I got him to draw a picture of me and Mel on Navy Pier, downtown Chicago, and hand drawn. So that was Melanie's 29th birthday. Okay. So gift. So this year, long story short, Melanie always wanted to go to New Orleans. Okay. Nice. And Melanie, in case people are wondering, that's my wife's name. So she always wanted to go to New Orleans. We're going down there, and Joe is only about 4 hours drive, and it's around his. So that's as close as a meetup we're going to get. Okay. But then my son's been deployed since December 21st in Eastern Europe in the Canadian military. So when he comes back in mid-June, late June, I'm doing a big bash. Welcome back. And then we're going to my childhood destination place when I was like 8 or 9 or 10, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. My parents couldn't afford Disney World, so we would go to Myrtle Beach. So I'm taking the whole family as a welcome back gift to my son, and we're going to spend time as a family. I haven't seen him in 6 months. So, well, it will be 6 months by the time I see him. So to answer your question, am I going to do a lot of meetups? No, not right now. My 3 weeks vacation are fully booked.
Good. Well, it sounds like they're booked with very worthwhile and fun things. And yes. My prayers definitely go out to your son being overseas at the moment. Because that's a fucked up place to be right now. No matter where you're at, Europe, Middle East, Russia, China, India, everywhere over there is fucked up right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even think you could go to somewhere like Iceland or Greenland and find normalcy. because I mean,
Yeah,
it's
the
fucking
whole world's
crazy.
upside down. Thank you,
It is,
globalists.
right? And hail to Toxic Man Flu from the Rumble side. Yes, in case you guys didn't know, StreamYard integrated Rumble, and I can now highlight Rumble chats on StreamYard.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
check that out. You know how nice that is? I mean, oh my gosh, I used to have to share my whole screen to be able to show Rumble chats.
Okay. Well, as a newbie, I'll take your word for it. You saw me do the slideshow there on Wednesday.
Mhm.
And by the way, Toxic Man Flu, you're a man that I really like. You're funny, you're clever, you're witty, and to me,
Don't
that's worth a man's weight in salt. So good
don't
on
don't
you,
don't
Toxic.
inf- don't inflate his ego any more than it is. Okay, you
I
know
don't
how
I don't
hard
have
it
to
is
deal
to
with
deal
him. I
with
don't
this man.
care.
Oh my gosh.
No,
I'm
I
just
just like him.
kidding.
He's always got something clever to say. The Nick Weiser 32 flavors of Nick Weiser. It's always something clever when he gives a super chat. Like I love people like that. People that are quick on their feet, you know. So anyway, I just figured I'd say that. There you go. There's
Yeah.
my French kiss to you, Toxic Man Flu,
All the tongue for you, Tox.
and all the slobber.
All of it. It's like kissing a fucking Great Dane, I guess. But anyway, uh, so when it comes down to YouTube and things
Yes.
like that, I know you go based on what you're feeling, and I know we went over this on the last stream that we had on Thursday, but what channels would you recommend people watch?
For what? For music?
Your personal favorites, if you will. Which ones would you suggest people go to watch?
Okay. Well, first of all, I like you guys. You're very entertaining. Anything off of Ian's channel there, Dick's Division, Comics Division. That's good for pop culture. I like 70s, but I'm a little biased. When it comes to politics, I like the Duran, a couple of Greek guys there in Europe. They're center right also, and very good analysis, political and stuff like that. I like Judge Napolitano for news. Sports, I don't listen to a lot of sports. I keep my sports fairly local. Like I'm not a big NFL guy and a Packers guy or stuff like
Right.
that. I don't listen to sport. And one of my favorites, okay, it's a new discovery thanks to Insomnia. It's called the channel is called Horror Babble, and
Okay.
they're audiobooks. There's two British people, the husband and the wife, and they read stuff like H.P. Lovecraft and beautiful, scary, very good, and it's wonderful for insomnia. I hit on them, and I'm like, oh, this is good. And the guy will read for 3 or 4 hours. The last book I listened to was Howard, the guy who wrote Conan the Barbarian.
Okay.
So Horror Babble, everybody. The guy is a great elucidate. He speaks very well. I forgot the word I was going to say. My brain part. So those would be my YouTube things, and of course, VynalRevyval if I can.
Well, yeah. Make sure you're subscribed to Christian Delorme VynalRevyval.
I might even surprise you. Well, my theory is I bring the content, my guests bring the entertainment.
That's a fair way to do it. Wow. And my Rumble chat just crashed. Rumble hates me recently. My browser wouldn't even open it the other day. That's why Thursday wasn't on Rumble.
Well, at least your mic's working.
Yeah, right. I figured that out. That's finally. But yeah, so we're getting ready to do the last 5 minutes of the show.
All right.
I will say right now that if you need any advice on tech related platforms and stuff like that, you can feel free to reach out to me. Anything I don't know, I could probably pick Toxic Man Flu's brain. Because Toxic Man Flu is just a wealth of knowledge when it comes to streaming shit.
Okay.
So I would love to be able to help you grow your channel as much as possible. And
you're ideal because you're very receptive, especially on Gilded. Like I'll send you a message and 10 minutes later, wow, Cory's right back at me, like, and it was really quick too. When I first friended you on Gilded, like I was part of your channel, but we weren't friends for the DMs. So you're very accessible. So yes, I will take you up on it. It won't take me 3 days to get a response from you.
It shouldn't, not unless Gilded doesn't tell me I have messages, but
yeah,
that's a hit and miss. I check it every day, so it shouldn't be an issue. I probably shouldn't have said that with Toxic Man Flu in the chat. Now he knows I check my Gilded messages. Damn.
He'll probably fill up your box just to be a prick.
Oh no, I'm supposed to be working on a song for him right now.
Okay.
I got caught up with other things, and I promise, Toxic, I'll get it. I promise. Because I like making fun of Culture Casino, so I will definitely sing that song for you. But yeah, it also if you want some good advice on like what to do as far as promotions and stuff like that,
yes,
try to reach out to Nick Weiser. He's really good at reaching people. Yeah, he's not afraid to network, which is one of the biggest problems that a lot of streamers have is networking. Definitely talk to Nick Weiser. I know you guys have an open channel of communication, so that's a good thing.
How do you know that?
Because you said yourself that you've talked to him, which means you have to be able to, like.
Okay.
He was supposed to be on one of the shows with us, but he decided spending time with his lady.
Yeah, I know.
On Valentine's Day.
As if made up holiday, by the way.
Yeah, 100%. Never mind the Catholic backstories behind all that.
Actually, they're Romans. It's actually Roman. Yeah,
I know. I call everything Roman Catholic because that's just kind of how it went. They go a little crazy when you start calling things Catholic that aren't.
Well, I am Roman Catholic. Did you notice?
No, what? Really? No.
And the three worst made up holidays, which is pandering, disgusting pandering. Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day. For God's sakes, get them away. Halloween is good. The kids enjoy it. It's fun. Halloween, leave that. It's a made-up holiday, but leave that. But Mother's Day, Father's Day, and for God's sakes, Valentine's Day, just jump in that car and just fly over the cliff and never come back.
I agree. 100%. Honestly, I do. So do you have anything going on in the near future over on your channel?
Yes, on my channel, I just got to put the advertisement on YouTube. We are doing the Great Power Trio Triumph on February the 28th. It's a Wednesday, and that just happens to be Joe's favorite band, Joe's Atmosphere, and Joe is a busy bee. He makes everybody who says they're busy put to shame. So I got it at 10 o'clock. Wednesday, the 28th, we will be talking about Triumph, the great Canadian band from Mississauga, Ontario.
Hell yeah, make sure you're there. So you need to subscribe to Christian Delorme over on YouTube.
Thank you.
And eventually Rumble. We'll get there eventually.
After you and me have a few sit-downs and a couple 6-packs of beer just to go through the stress.
All right, sounds like a plan to me. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and wind down. So as I said, make sure you're subscribed to Christian Delorme, Christian Delorme's VynalRevyval. Find it there on YouTube. Link is in the description. Link is in the private or in the chat. Private chat. Well, that'd be useful. But anyway, as far as I go, I will see you guys Monday morning. Cory's Corner will be back. We'll have some more random weird shit to cover. We're probably actually going to do a Mental Health Monday. In the morning. Not 100% sure on what I'll talk about, but I am sure I'll come up with some strange psychological thing to talk about. As far as Monday night goes, we will have Dick's News US. I'm trying not to make it really Florida Man centric, but I'll tell you, like, Florida Man's put it into high gear this last week, and they've done some crazy shit. So we might have a couple Florida Man articles to cover and such. We'll see if we have guests or not, but you know how it is. And if you guys want to join any of my live streams, I need to get an invite link before I actually finish saying this. Make sure you're joined in the Talks-A-Lot Town Square Gilded, because how these things work is if you're a member of the Gilded for any of the general shows that aren't one-on-ones, you will be able to join them. So I'm dropping that in the chat right now. I would drop that in the Rumble chat if it was working for me, but for some reason it's not all of a sudden. I will update the description to have that Gilded link in there. But if you want to join any of our shows or you would love to have a one-on-one interview with me, then you need to be a member of the Talks-A-Lot Town Square Gilded. That being said, I'm going to get going so I can teach my son how to drive in the snow. It's going to be fun.
Always is.
I keep telling myself it's going to be fun, and that my anxiety is for nothing. It's not, but it's man. First time he drove, he hit 3 curbs.
Oh,
and ground the gears in my automatic car, which is really hard to do. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I will catch you next time. Stay sexy, don't get murdered, and as always, have a wonderful time. Bye-bye.